They announced Black Panther.
Yes.
Kevin Feige teased us a little while ago that, yeah, we're looking at Black Panther. Yeah, well, no, as it turns out, they've had Black Panther on the book now for about 3 months, and they had cast Chadwick Boseman to play Black Panther. They actually had him on months ago. He was actually signed on months ago. And they brought Boseman out on stage, which is pretty cool. And they brought him out standing between Captain America and Iron Man. So you had, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans out there, and they're basically tug-of-warring on him. We had asked on this show before, assuming there's going to be no Spider-Man, who kind of plays that Civil War role of Spider-Man? This presentation, at least to me, made it seem pretty clear Black Panther is going to be kind of that role, that Spider-Man-y role, if you will.
Well, it also showed to me that it was great to where right away Tony Stark turns to Black Panther and says, whose side are you on? And that's an element that I'm looking for that I can't see the recruitment. Right. I can't wait to see where they're making their pitches of why they and who joins which side. You're like, wait, where's Thor going to go? And it's like you said before with the draft team, it's like, who's going to fight for who? Because it's not like evil. It's two sides of good with opposing views to see all these different superheroes going there. And Black Panther, this dude, Chadwick Boseman, when he comes out, what a presence, man. I kind of geeked out because I'm a big fan of him. I was just like, great casting! Great casting! I screamed it out loud. And I think if you haven't seen Get On Up, that's the movie you should check with him, too.
He's very, very good.
He transforms, and the dude is a great actor, and he's just superstar, and it's a great casting.
He also played Jackie Robinson, and it's fitting because they knocked this casting out of the park. And I don't know that you could have announced that the way if it was more of a controversial name that they brought out to play Black Panther. Everybody knew that when you say Chadwick Boseman, the place was going to go nuts. Having Robert Downey Jr. do it, as soon as he said Chadwick Boseman and he walks out, that was maybe the loudest roar that you heard yesterday at the, I just want to call it the Hall H panel.
Yeah.
And I think this could be a game changer. All these films are game changers as far as the Marvel Universe goes. This could be more of a societal game changer because you have a minority superhero who's going to be the lead. He's going to be carrying his own film, and he's going to be interacting in other movies with guys that we already know and have heard of and loved. It's very, very exciting.
I've always loved Black Panther, especially since his origin is tied in so closely with the Inhumans and the original Fantastic Four run. I'm a big Kirby fan, Stan Lee fan. So all those original stories now coming to fruition. I also got a chance to direct a couple episodes of Marvel's animated Black Panther TV show. And for Black Panther, we had cast Djimon Hounsou. So as a voice actor, he was great. But a lot of people, he was in that like 10 years ago kind of, hey, he would have been a great Black Panther to act in a live action Black Panther. And now he's just a little bit too old. A lot of names like Idris Elba was, but he's Heimdall and Thor. So this casting is actually perfect. And note for note, I can't wait to see Wakanda, the live action version of that giant, Panther. I mean, I just can't wait to see some of the visions of Wakanda brought to life in live action and Black Panther himself. So I can't wait.
I remember thinking it was either going to be Chadwick or John Boyega. I remember thinking that a while ago. Boyega would have been another interesting choice. I'm not as thrilled by the casting as some of you guys, but I'm not against it. And the reason being is because of the two films both of you guys brought up. In Get On Up, the dude just becomes the hardest working man in show business. Right. I mean, he owned that film, which was great because I wasn't a real big fan of his going into it because I did not like him in 42.
You didn't like him as Jackie Robinson?
I remember thinking, I didn't think he did Jackie Robinson justice in it. And I remember coming out of that film feeling that's why I didn't really love that film that much because I didn't think the performance that he gave did justice to Jackie Robinson. Then I go into Get On Up, and it's like, what the hell? Where did this kid come from? Right. So I'm very on the fence about it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm cool about it. Not super excited about it, but not against it either. We'll see how it turns out. What is surprising about him, though, I was sitting around last night with Ray, one of our production guys, and Ray was like, so what is Chadwick? He's like 23, 24. He's a young guy, right? So, maybe. He's 38 years old.
Really?
He's 30. Well, in November, in a few weeks, he turns 38 years old.
Man.
I would have guessed the 24, 25.
Yeah. What is that, like seaweed wrap? How do you stay that young?
You mentioned something about Black Panther with origin. I think he's one of the characters. There's 3 new characters that they're going to debut. I think he's one of the characters that will not get an origin story. I think because you're going to debut him in Civil War. And I think that by going back to doing an origin story after you debut him in Civil War is...
And Feige kind of poo-pooed the idea of origin stories, remember?
Some of them,
with things you've already started with.
Although I think that Doctor Strange will get an origin story from the way that he was explaining Doctor Strange. I think that that will get an origin story, but I don't think Panther or Marvel will get an origin.
I think Panther's going to have his origin story in Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Oh,
because they begin with vibranium vibranium is centered in
he's
Wakanda.
Mentioned kind of in Iron Man a little, the first Iron Man.
I think he's going to appear in Avengers in the beginning, and they already have Claw, and they're going to bring in Wakanda. That's probably that's my guess. I think he's going to be in there.
Here's one of the cool things, and what makes me really excited about the Black Panther is that Black Panther in the Avengers brings a new personality dynamic, I think, to this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. People sometimes forget, like we talk about the race thing about him bringing in, a black character lead. That's great. But let's not lose sight that at his core, Black Panther himself is just a kick-ass character. He is a king. And he has the mentality of a king. One of my favorite single comic book covers of all time. I remember, because this is years and years and years ago, but is a cover of, I think it's a Black Panther title, but it's a throne in the jungle, and Black Panther sitting on his throne, kind of almost casually sitting on his throne, with one of the most powerful mutants in the world, Storm, his wife, standing beside his throne, just with her arm on his throne, and Black Panther. So it's like, that's a badass. That's the kind of guy we need in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's
and it's
going
to be really cool.
Yeah.
And seeing how how they're going to portray that attitude of him. He is a king. And when we get into Civil War, how that personality, how those personal characteristics are going to come into play as we've got two different sides fighting over him. Because his whole attitude might be, you're both unworthy of me or whatever. I don't know. Like maybe he'll be one.
Remember, Wakanda controls vibranium. That's Cap's shield. That's probably what Iron Man's going to, after Ultron's going to want.
Made out of.
I mean, that's going to also create some, tension.
Yeah, I like how Feige, by the way, said in the Ultron trailer that before even they announced the Black Panther movie, he's like, there was a tease of an upcoming property. And I'm just saying, if we're doing prophecies, I'd said that Claw was in that trailer for a split. Because you see that Andy Serkis? It's so random.
Right. What's up with the Amish beard? It's Claw.
It really is it's just an Easter egg. It really is like, hey, look at this. And then all of a sudden, what do we got?
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.